Okay, good morning. My name is Paul Davis. I'm the new chair of Scrutiny Committee 3, and I now read out the opening statement. Welcome to all to this subject overview of Scrutiny Committee 3, which is due to health and safety reasons currently being followed by BCBC, will be held virtually with everyone accessing the meeting from remote locations. The meeting is being recorded and will be available via the Council's website to be viewed subsequently. Please can everyone ensure that mobile phones are switched off or to silent mode. Members will receive an electronic copy of the agenda and will ask officers to present a summary of the key points. For the record, the agenda can be viewed on the Council's website. Members and officers will be speaking at various points during the meeting, and those speaking may switch their cameras on at that point. But I would ask that, with the exception of myself as chairperson, at all other times you keep your cameras and microphones switched off, as this will help to minimise any background noise and interference. If any member and officer wish to raise a point or question, they should press the raise hands icon on the top right hand side of the Microsoft Teams window, and I will come to you in the order I receive the requests. Please lower your hand once you have finished speaking. The instant message chat button has been disabled for this meeting. Please do not use microphones until I invite you to do so. I will ask the officers to introduce themselves when I invite them to speak during the course of the meeting. They too should ensure microphones and cameras are switched off when not in use. I will now proceed to the agenda. Item 1. Any apologies for absence, please?
Thank you, Chair. I've received apologies for absence from Councillor Philip Jenkins. Right
here. We are well coded, then I take it on that, yeah?
Yes, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Item 2, declarations of interest. Any member have a declaration of interest for this meeting?
No hands up.
Take silence and take it as none, then so we proceed to item 3, approval of the minutes. This is approval of the minutes of the meeting held back in January 2022 of the SOC3 committee. Now, there were only 2 members in this committee who were present at that meeting, so I will propose we accept the minutes.
And I'll second them, Chair.
There we are. So it's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Clark. Item 4. Any questions on the minutes? Sorry, anybody got any? Well, there's nobody here to really. Manora, you got any questions on the minutes from January?
No, Chair. I read through and I'm quite happy with them. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah. Councillor Graham. Oh, did you put your hand up, Councillor Graham Walters?
By mistake, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll move on to item 4, corporate parenting champion nominations. Could you present the report, please, Meryl? Oh, Lucy, is it? Sorry, apologies.
That's okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Chair. The role of the Corporate Parenting Champion is to represent their overview and scrutiny committee in discussions regarding items relating to children in care and care leavers. The role of champion also considers how all services within the remit of scrutiny affect children in care and care leavers, and encourage their own committee to keep their corporate parenting role in mind when participating in scrutiny. The committee is requested to nominate 1 member as its corporate parenting champion to represent the committee as an invitee at meetings of the Cabinet Committee Corporate Parenting. I'll hand back to you, Chair, for the nominations.
Do we have any nominations for the role of corporate parenting champion, please?
Councillor Martin Williams' hand is up.
Councillor Martin Williams, you're first on the list here, so fire away.
Thank you, Chair. Can I nominate Councillor Ian Williams, please?
Councillor Ian, I might write these down so I don't forget them. Ian Williams. But we have Councillor Graham Walter has his hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Can I nominate Councillor Jonathan Pratt, please?
Those are the 2 people who showed interest in the previous, I believe. So, Vera, do we go to a vote? Graham Walter has his hand up, and Steve Bledsoe. Graham Walter first, sorry. Steve Bledsoe, Councillor, have your hand up?
Sorry, Chair, unmuting, sorry.
It's okay. No,
I'd
we've all
like
been there,
to
Steve, don't worry.
second the nomination for Councillor Ian Williams, please.
Okay, thank you. Did we get a second for
No.
Councillor Pratt? Councillor Pratt. Councillor Melanie Evans.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I would like to second the nomination for Councillor Jonathan Pratt, please.
Okay, thank you. So we have two nominations. It'll have to go to a vote. Meryl, do you want to run the vote, please?
Thank you, Chair. Jess, could you read out the names of the members present in order, and we'll ask each member to say the name of the councillor they're voting for. So that would be either Councillor Ian Williams or Councillor Jonathan Pratt.
Okay, we've lost the list a second. Okay, 2 seconds. Let me get back on the list. Apologies for this. Totally all been there on this. Okay.
Sorry, Jess is going to read it out. Sorry, Chair.
Yeah, I read
Chair.
out. So I just read off the list in front of me, Meryl, and each councillor will give an answer, and we will down the list. Yes. Okay. Well, myself, I'll vote for Councillor Ian Pratt, please. As chair.
Sorry,
no?
it's Ian Williams or Jonathan Pratt.
Jonathan Pratt. Sorry. Maybe I got mixed up then. Councillor John Pratt, please. Councillor Colin Davis, how would you vote?
Jonathan Pratt.
Councillor Graham Walter.
Jonathan Pratt, please, Chair.
Councillor Ian Williams.
Councillor Ian Williams will vote for Ian Williams.
Thank you. Councillor Jonathan Pratt.
Councillor Jonathan Pratt will vote for Councillor Jonathan Pratt.
When I try to scroll down, I keep losing the list. Meryl, that's what's happening here. Let me go on the side here. Try that.
Should we?
That's better. I got it now. Councillor Martin Williams is next, please.
Yes, Ian Williams, please. I'll vote for Ian Williams.
Thank you. Councillor Melanie Evans.
Thank you, Chair. I will vote for Councillor Jonathan Pratt, please.
Councillor Mike Kern.
I'll vote for Councillor Jonathan Pratt, please.
Councillor I've lost this. Councillor Nora Clark.
Abstaining, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Bledsoe, please.
Councillor Ian Williams, please.
Thank you. Councillor William Kendall.
Councillor Jonathan Pratt.
Thank you. Have I missed anybody, firstly? No, I take silence as no. Meryl, do you want to
No,
give us the result, please?
No missed.
Nobody missed?
The Councillor Jonathan Pratt has the vote, Chair.
Okay, so duly elected Councillor Ian Pratt, yes?
Jonathan Pratt.
I've written Ian down on the list, that's why, because Jonathan Pratt. Okay, there we are. Can we move on to item 5, Meryl?
Certainly, Chair.
Yeah. So move on to item 5 now, which is nomination to the Public Service Scrutiny Board.
Thank you, Chair.
Please. Thank you.
So from the 1st of April 2016, the Wellbeing of Future Generations Wales Act 2015 introduced statutory public service boards across each local authority area in Wales and the statutory scrutiny of the PSB. The authority designated a PSB scrutiny panel which sits under the remit of the Corporate Overview and Scrutiny Committee for this purpose. The panel will hold up to 2 meetings a year and make its recommendations to COSC for approval before reporting to the Public Service Board. The committee is requested to nominate 1 member to sit on the Public Service Board scrutiny panel. Thank you, Chair. I'll hand back to you for the nominations.
Yeah, thank you. I was on mute then again. Do I have any nominations for the Public Service Board, please? Nominee. Councillor Melanie Evans.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I would like to nominate Councillor Colin Davis, please.
Thank you. Councillor Steve Bledsoe.
Could I please nominate Councillor Martin Williams?
Councillor Ian Williams. Oh, he's got off. He's given off. Did you take your hand down here, Williams, councillor? Oh, he's back on it. Ian's, Councillor Graham Walter, please.
Thanks, Chair. I'd like to second Councillor Colin Davis.
Okay, so we've got Councillor Ian Williams, you back on the
Yes,
screen now?
I'd like to second Councillor Martin Williams, please.
Right, okay.
Chair, would you like Jess to read out the names? So, yeah.
I think so, yeah, just trouble scrolling down there,
And,
down the list, to be honest.
and we'll ask that you read out the name of the councillor that you're voting for, please.
Myself?
No.
If we start with Councillor Stephen Bledsoe.
Right, okay.
So it's Colin Davis or Martin Williams, please.
Thank you, Jess. Councillor Martin Williams, please.
Thank you. Councillor Nora Clark, please.
Councillor Martin Williams, please.
Thank you. Councillor Colin Davis, please. Oh, yeah, Councillor Colin Davis.
Yeah, I'm going to vote for myself, Colin Davis. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Paul Davis, Chair.
I'll vote for Councillor Colin Davis, please.
Thank
Jessica.
you, Chair. Councillor Melanie Evans, please.
Thanks, Jessica. I would like to vote for Councillor Colin Davis, please.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mike Kern, please.
I'll vote for Colin Davis, please.
Thank you. Councillor William Kendall, please.
Colin Davis, please.
Thank you. Councillor Jonathan Pratt, please.
Thank you. I'll vote for Councillor Colin Davis, please.
Thank you. Councillor Graham Walter.
Councillor Colin Davis, please, Jess.
Thank you. Councillor Ian Williams, please.
Councillor Martin Williams, please.
Thank you. And Councillor Martin Williams, please.
I thought I'd keep you guessing. And Chair, no, I'll vote for myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor
Thank
Williams.
you.
Right.
I think, to my calculations, Councillor Colin Davis has the vote.
Okay, Councillor Colin Davis elected then to the PSB. Thank you very much.
Thanks all.
We move on now to item 6, which is the Forward Work Programme. Mara, can I hand over to you?
Thank you, Chair. So the Council's constitution requires that the Corporate Overview and Scrutiny Committee develops and implements a forward work programme, and each subject overview and scrutiny committee also contributes to items for their forward work programme, having regard to the Council's corporate priorities and risk management framework and directorate business plans. And the Corporate Overview and Scrutiny Committee has oversight and refers any cross-cutting topics to committees. So following the approval of the schedule of Scrutiny Committee meeting dates at annual meeting of Council on in May this year, the scheduling of standing statutory reports to Corporate Scrutiny Committee, so for instance the medium-term financial strategy, the corporate plan, performance and budget monitoring, etc., have been mapped to the appropriate meeting dates into a draft forward work programme. And the draft outline forward work programme for each subject overview scrutiny committee has been prepared in conjunction with the chair using a number of different sources, including the corporate risk assessment, the directorate business plans, previous scrutiny committee forward work programme reports and minutes and actions, committee or member proposed topics, the cabinet work programme for pre-decision items, discussions with corporate directors, and liaison with the performance team regarding the timing of performance information. Forward work programmes should be manageable to maximise the effective use of the limited time and resources of scrutiny committees. It's not possible to include every topic proposed. Successful scrutiny is about looking at the right topic in the right way, and members need to be selective while also being able to demonstrate clear arguments for including or excluding topics. Within the report, there are criteria for topic selection to assist in maximising the effective use of time. There's also some examples of things that wouldn't be looked at by scrutiny, and I'm sure members have read the report. The draft forward work programme is attached as an appendix to this report, Chair, and the subject overview and scrutiny committee forward work programmes will be reported to each meeting of corporate committee as well, with any updates on items from this committee and the other subject overview and scrutiny committees for coordination and oversight. I'll hand back to you, Chair, for any members' questions or comments.
Right, you've heard the report. Members, any comments or questions on the forward work programme, please? Who puts your hand? Councillor E. Williams?
Yes, Chair. Do we bring up topics now that we would like to put in the forward work programme?
Well, you can do. Yeah, yes. Obviously, like you said in the pre-meeting, there are some restraints, but Meryl, could you explain
Yes,
any
Chair.
further?
It's up to the committee to set the work programme. So if members have any proposals and whether the committee supports those items to put them on the work programme, perhaps you could suggest the topic or outline the scope of the topic.
Yeah, what topic would you like to add or take away, whatever it is, Ian, please? Let us know.
The local authority, BCBC, has made no provision for the equality. Let me put my camera on. For the Equalities Act 2010, with regard to playgrounds within the borough.
Right.
I don't believe there is one piece of accessible playground equipment for disabled children within the 107 playgrounds that the borough controls. This contravenes the Equalities Act of 2010. It also comes under the United Nations Children's Charter, which it's not conforming to.
Right.
I really think that this committee should be looking at equalities where there's no disabled access to pavilions in Newbridge Fields. There's no.
So yeah, I think we get you gist of this. What's the actual area we'd be looking at then? From what we understand what you're saying, you know, about the playgrounds and the access and things. Where would we look at to drill down on that? What particular parks and playing fields? Was that what you're saying, or as one big topic, or
parks and playing fields?
Could we look at legislation like Councillor Williams is referring to, Meryl? Well, that sort of, it's a bit tricky that one. I don't know.
I think, Chair, what we'll do is we'll take this down now, and in the meeting when we speak to the director and the cabinet member, we talk about the scope of it and when we could bring that back and report back to members on the scheduling of it then. But I don't know if Councillor Williams has finished with his outline of.
Yeah, sorry.
So do we have to go to a corporate director now?
No. We obviously we get the report from them, so we need to ask them for the report and schedule it. So we're not saying no to having it. We're just saying we liaise with them about the timing of it.
That we have a responsibility to the disabled community within our borough, and we have done nothing with regards to play facilities for any disabled children within those playgrounds.
What did you say about the pavilions as well, Councillor Williams?
There's no disabled access to two of the pavilions in Newbridge Fields, and I haven't been around other pavilions throughout the borough, but within Newbridge Fields, there's no disabled access.
Okay. Well, Meryl, so you got that, Meryl, yeah?
We've got that, Chair, and also if with Councillor Williams, I would suggest that we, in order to scope this, we don't just look at Newbridge Fields. Obviously, we look at the responsibility across the borough, and the provision.
I think Councillor Williams just highlighted the fact that obviously being local to that area, that those particular ones have are lacking in that facility. I think is okay. All right, Councillor Williams, happy?
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Cheers.
So, Chair, just to be absolutely clear, can we just get the committee to agree the item?
Okay. Does the committee agree to that item being added at some point when Meryl can sort it out, please? Any objections? I got some hands there, but they were already up, so I'm assuming they want to ask questions. Well, I wouldn't take them at the moment.
Agree.
Anybody else? Everybody agree?
Yes.
Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agree, Chair.
yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
I think, okay. Yeah, I think that's that go forward then. Vera, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you,
Right.
Councillor
Thank you,
Williams.
Chair.
Could you lower your hand, Ian, please? Thank you. Next is Councillor Martin Williams. Next, please.
Thank you, Chair. Oh, I got my camera on there.
we are.
Yeah, thank you. One thing we've got, I mean, I think the provisional points for the September meeting with the Prosperity Fund and Levelling Up Fund skirt around what I'm going to say, but we don't seem to have anything in relation to regeneration, and in particular, I'm embarking on some ambitious stuff in Porthcawl, and there was the Porthcawl PRIF. I think it was the Porthcawl. The Porthcawl. What was it called? The PRIF, the Porthcawl Resort Investment Focus. That's it. I'm good at 3-letter acronyms. 4-letter acronyms stump me, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But you know, we saw. You know, I asked a question in council, last council, about the additional spend on the Cosy Corner scheme, which I believe is the best part of 700,000 they came back for. I would be very interested to understand, you know, and of course with the Levelling Up scheme, we've got the pavilion as well, which I believe is, you know, a very ambitious project. But I'm not aware that the council or scrutiny committee has in recent years lifted up the bonnet on what's going on in Porthcawl and ensured that all of this money we're spending is being focused correctly. What's the history of the PRIF? Is it in line with what the expectations were when it was kicked off? And I know we want to look at things borough-wide, but I think that there is so much money there, and Porthcawl is such a potential jewel in our crown when it comes to regeneration that I would, you know, like this to be looked at in some detail. Now, whether that dovetails nicely into the September meeting or not, I don't know, but it'd be certainly something I think we should look at carefully.
Okay, thank you. Beryl, is that something we could look at in the September meeting, or?
I think again I think there may be overlaps with what's on the agenda for the September meeting, but I think perhaps this will be a report that specifically looks at, as Councillor Williams has said, outlined the Porthcawl regeneration and the investment and the schemes. So perhaps this might be a separate report, but again, if we could just get the committee to vote that, you know, they're happy to take it on.
I don't disagree with what Councillor Williams says. I think we do need to look at that. There's a lot of money being spent down there, so if we can get it in somewhere, if not in September, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not precious about the dates myself, but we've got 5 years ahead of us at the end of the day, haven't we? You know, so
we bring it as soon as we can. Yes, Chair.
Yeah,
I think, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I think. Sorry to come back. I think I'm not precious about the date either. I just mentioned that because it was there. That's all. Thank you.
I understand. I understand that, Martin. I understand fully what you're saying. You know, I'm agreeing with you basically. And if Mary can get it in as quick as let's do it. Is it committee in agreement with that proposal to have a look at Porthcawl regeneration in a bit more detail when Mary can get something together for us? Is that
absolutely?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with the investment, as Ian said. It's just have a look at, you know, and see what it has achieved and what we're aiming to achieve, and are these being fulfilled, I think, is where the line we need to take, I think. Anyway, so that was done. Councillor Mike Kern, please.
Yes, thank you, Chair. My question is not regarding the forward work programme as such. I just want to ask Melanie, how far in advance will we get the agendas? Because I remember last term, sometimes they were coming a bit short before. With us holding the meetings on a Monday, we got a weekend between that. A lot of people go away on the weekend, so I would like to see, if possible, have an agenda, well, 5 working days before the actual meeting, because I know sometimes it can be a lot of paperwork to read through.
Yeah, that's a good question, that, Chair. Meryl, any?
Yes, Chair, thank you. So the by law, we are required to send out the agenda 3 clear working days, which doesn't include the day of the meeting and the day of the send out. So for instance, this meeting today is on a Monday, so the papers would be published and circulated last Tuesday. So it's just under a week, 1 day less than a week in advance.
It gives us, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Melanie.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Thanks for that. I got Councillor Graham Walter hand up, please.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just looking again at the draft outline of dates, I'm wondering whether the item for April of next year, future waste services work streams, should be brought forward to possibly the November subject and move the corporate joint committee's responsibilities further down the line. We all heard about the tight timescales associated with waste services, if indeed that refers to the recycling renewal. Perhaps we should be discussing it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm going to jump to Meryl. I think there's a timing issue here, Meryl, isn't there? I think. Am I right,
okay,
Meryl?
just for clarification, at the meeting of corporate committee when they discussed the call in on the 30th of June, they also decided that they would look at the report that comes back to scrutiny on the post 2024 arrangements. So that will be going there. This other topic is looking at the waste work streams in the future beyond that contract then. So that's why it's been put back to there, because obviously they'll be looking at the new contract details in the corporate committee, and then I think for those of you who are on corporate, you will have known this, but for those of you who are not, they then said, well, they're not taking waste altogether. They look at this because it's quite important now, and then it will revert back to this committee for the future arrangements then after that. So I think that was what was decided at corporate committee, wasn't it, Chair?
Yeah, yes, I believe so, yeah.
There are hands up now, I believe.
Well, I got Mike Kern, but I think that's a legacy hand, Mike, is it?
Apologies, Chair.
Yeah. Graham Walter, his hand is also a legacy hand? Yeah, there's no hands shown on my screen now.
Thank you, Meryl, for that clarification. That makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Thank you. I don't see any more hands up on my screen, Meryl.
No, I think that's everyone now, Chair, for that.
Okay, so we're all happy with that, yeah? No hands showing. I'll move on. Item 7, urgent items. There on my list here, it says there are no urgent items. Meryl, are you aware of anything that's come in? We should be aware of it, Meryl?
No, Chair. If we had anything, it would come in by 4 PM the last working day.
Right.
Can we just ask, sorry, for the recommendations of item 6, we ask the committee to agree its work programme and to say whether there are any specific pieces of information or invitees they wish to attend the next 2 meetings as well, please.
Okay. So, well, you heard the question, guys. Any responses to that? So probably repeated it. We need to invite anybody to these meetings?
We do invite the appropriate cabinet member and officers, but sometimes members have requests for others as well, so that's Colin Davis's hand is up, I believe.
Yeah, Councillor Colin Davis, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Thanks, Meryl. Yeah, you answered my question really. So in terms of the next one, Shared Prosperity Fund and Levelling Up Fund, so those 2 officers in charge of those 2 processes on behalf of the council, and yeah, they'll be invited to the meeting so we can answer some questions.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, great. Okay, that answers my question. Thanks very much.
Councillor Martin Williams.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's in relation to the Porthcawl thing I raised, really. So it's not, it may or may not be in the next 2 meetings, depending on when it comes, when it's scheduled. But it would be interesting to see some of the external stakeholders, some of the partners who are involved in perhaps Credi and other things in that. But of course, it all depends on timing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Meryl, we
certainly, Chair, just making a note of that.
External, rather just officers of the county borough, rather get somebody from outside who's on the receiving end of some of this money, perhaps. I think that's what think that's what we're looking at, is it? Okay, thank you, Martin. Councillor Ian Williams, next.
Thank you, Chair. With relation to my proposal for the forward work programme, I would like to bring in a lady called Miranda Evans, who works for Disability Wales, who has been a big help to me in getting to where we are now, if that's acceptable.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, obviously we can ask them to come. We can't force them to come, but
No.
you know,
No. I'll email her and ask her.
And obviously their availability is an issue as well, Councillor Williams. You know, so our date is set. If they can't, you know, so that's the only we can invite them, but if they come, you know.
As soon as we know the date, we can liaise with the invitees. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
No problem. Councillor Jonathan Pratt is next.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. In response to the for the meeting on the 26th of September, to Martin Williams, I'm not sure Creddy exists anymore, so I'm not sure there'll be anyone to invite, but our interest would be in particular to Porthcawl, as they run the pavilion and, from what I understand, are very involved in the Levelling Up Fund and the Shared Prosperity, so they would be the people to invite.
Okay, thank you for the local knowledge there, Councillor Pratt. Thank you.
Okay.
Councillor Colin Davis.
Thanks, Chair. Yeah, in relation to Councillor Ian Williams' point about the disability access to our playgrounds, if you're inviting an outside body, I think it's only fair that you invite one of the officers, and the officer I'd like to see invited is whichever officer is responsible for our play assessment. So going back, I think it was about 10 years, I'm not sure really, Welsh Government came out with a measure and all that to say that local authorities should assess the level and quality of their playgrounds, play facilities, etc. And I know the onus was on the local authority to produce, I don't think it was an annual plan, I think it was a plan they needed to produce every couple of years. So I don't know when the most recent Bridgend assessment took place, probably sometime pre-COVID, like everything. So I'd be interested to see plans for an updated assessment, you know, when that's due. It might be taking place, it might have already taken place. And also, you know, I mean, I know the assessment takes into account issues around disability access and stuff like that. I know it's got a very wide-ranging consultation process. For example, it talks to not just you know, organisations like that Councillor Ian Williams mentioned, schools, young people, through the schools, young people separately, sometimes through the youth service. I'm not sure the age range, but be a good idea to, as I say, invite whichever officer is responsible for compiling or has compiled the most recent play assessment, and then we'd have a complete overview then of what the council is proposing and what the council has looked at and considered, who the council has talked to over the last couple of years about that issue. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Colin. Yeah, I think officers are invited, obviously, Colin, but you know, if there's an extra officer you think is relevant to the topic, yeah, certainly we can invite them. And I don't know who that officer is, Meryl, personally, but
we'll find that out, Chair, and
invite them. Yeah. Thank you, Colin. Councillor Martin Williams and Ian Williams, can you lower your hands, please? Unless they new hands. I got Nora Clark is next, please. Thank you both. Councillor Nora Clark.
Thank you, Chair. I was just wondering, with the parks and playing fields issue that Councillor Ian Williams put forward, is whether we should be looking at some surface users or organisations that, you know, that go in and use these facilities. So, you know, we've got a range of people, and I know I declare a personal interest in what I'm going to say next. I know that Councillor Martin Williams mentioned the PRIF for Porthcawl, and then Councillor Pratt mentioned that Creddy is no longer in existence. And yes, of course, I would agree with that. But the leader on the Creddy organisation was instrumental and joined together with Ian Sherwood in putting the PRIF together. So I think that it is important that people are invited from that organisation, although that is already gone into liquidation. Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Laura. Yeah.
Obviously, I'll need to do a little bit more research into this to find people and report back on who we can invite and that. But we take all these points forward, Chair.
But yeah, thank you, Meryl. I think Councillor Williams, you put your hand back up, have you?
Yes, Chair.
Go ahead.
With regards to external organisations and stakeholders, one of the main stakeholders I feel that uses the playground facilities within Bridgend are Urbont, and I would like to perhaps formally invite the manager or director who looks after Urbont, Julia Shaw.
Good.
Because I know she's got grave concerns too.
Good. Nice to have a name as well to put on the list. Thank you for that, Ian. Yeah, excellent.
Thank you, Chair.
No problem. There's no more hands up showing on my side now, Meryl. So did we actually approve? We still need to approve these the work programme going forward, I think, Meryl, do we?
Subject to the amendments and proposals, Chair. Yeah.
I got two more hands just popped up. I don't know if they're legacies. Let me just check. Ian Williams, did you put your hand up again there, or is it a legacy? Gone. Okay, thank you. Councillor Pratt, is your hand a legacy hand or?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think if we're going to invite people who have been involved in the PRIF, I think inviting Visit Wales would probably be a good idea then. Yeah.
This list is getting quite lengthy.
That's okay.
So we'll have one thing on the agenda that day, perhaps. Keep it. Anyway, right. Okay. The list is actually clear now. I got no hands up now. So we're all happy then to move this work programme forward and accept the work programme as amended by us today. I'll take silence as a yes. Okay, Meryl, yeah, that's been accepted.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you. I'll now move on to item 7, urgent items. There are no urgent items aware of. Meryl, nothing, no?
Nothing, Chair, thank you.
Okay, if that is, nobody's got any more points, I shall close the meeting at 10:09. And thank you all for your attendance, and I'll see you on Monday, the 26th of September. And hopefully I won't have this stinking cold and able to talk properly. So thank you very much today for your attendance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you all.